Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Nier. The last time we started our run for the second ending, but we haven't been running at all. We've just been reading this part of Kaine's memories. So let's just go on. I think this should be the last part of the story. Kain listened to the sound of crackling firewood and stared at a black object on her plate. She'd been pushing it around the wooden disc for a good 10 minutes, ignoring the bemused stare of her grandmother. Finally, she summoned her courage and gave the object a brief sniff. A sharp, bitter scent flew up her nostrils and made its home there, causing her face to twist with disgust. "Grandma, I can't believe you want me to eat a bug." The old woman threw some more wood under the cooking pot and snorted. "It's no bug, you fool girl, it's a berry." "Why in the hell would I be feeding you bugs?" "Yeah, well, it sure looks like a bug," said Kaini, "and I think it's burned or something, because it smells terrible." With that, Kaini held her nose and threw the berry in her mouth, chewing as little as possible. "Oh yeah, that's terrible, alright." "Why, you little brat," laughed the old woman. "Look at the sass on you, you've been spending too much time with me, and that's a fact." 5 years had passed since the moment when Kaini's grandmother saved her from the bullies. As is often the way with two stubborn people, their relationship had grown in fits and starts, but moved forward all the same. Meals that used to be somber affairs were now filled with laughter and hurled abuse in equal measure. Kaini could not remember a time when she had been happier. As the years went by, Kaini started to shoulder more and more of the daily responsibilities. Her grandmother's legs grew weaker by the day, and she could no longer do many of the chores she used to take for granted. And so this morning found Kaini lacing up her work boots with a breakfast of burnt berry rolling through her belly. "Where are you going today?" asked Grandma suddenly. Kaini looked up, surprised. The old woman rarely asked for specifics anymore. "Well, I was gonna check out the calmer trees and see if they were ripe. I thought we could make some jam or something. Oh, and I'm going to pick up some flagstones, so I need to take the wheelbarrow." "Flagstones? What in the hell for?" Kaini stared at her grandmother, then held out an arm and swept it around their home, constructed mostly of cloth, rope, and rubble. The old place sagged like a boxer in the final round. "Grandma, a dying cat could chew through this house. I'm going to build a stone wall so we have some protection." The old woman laughed, exposing her toothless grin to the world. "Goddamn girl, if your bunch of thieves want to ransack this old place, let them come. We got nothing worth stealing anyway." "I'm not worried about thieves, I'm worried about shades. People saw one west of the village yesterday." The old woman tilted her head and stared at her granddaughter. "Well, shoot, I don't know why you have to do it today. We can worry about some other." "Grandma, no. If I don't go to the calmer trees, we won't eat tonight. You know that." A confused expression passed across the old woman's face, and for a moment she was a small child lost at a carnival. "Yes," she said after a bit. "Yes, of course, you're right. I'm sorry, Kari. Lately it seems my mind is..." She didn't finish the thought, instead walking over to her nightstand and gently taking the wreath of lunar tears from the drawer. The flower's petals had aged to a brilliant whiteness, and Kaini thought it was more beautiful now than the day she first received it. "You're gonna be a true woman soon," Grandma said as she placed the flowers in the girl's hair. "So that means less chatter about shades and building defensive walls and more talk about how beautiful you've become." Annoyed, Kaini reached up to remove a garland, but the look on her grandmother's face stopped her hand. "You're a beautiful thing," said the old woman, "and there ain't another like you in all the world. I'm very proud of you." "Okay, Grandma, that's enough goddamn compliments for one day." Such a mouth on you. Where did that come from? Gee, I wonder. I'll teach you to sesame, girl, yelled Grandma. Suddenly she lurched forward and grabbed Tiny by the ear, pulling her around the room with a crazed grin on her face. Grandma, yelled Tiny in a quaking voice. Grandma, stop it. What the hell? The old woman stared at her and blinked, then slowly held her wrinkled hands out as if it was the first time she had ever seen them. Oh, I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry, girl. Sometimes my mind just... Tiny thought the look on her grandmother's face was the most heartbreaking thing she had ever seen. Listen, she began. Maybe I should stay home after all. No, I won't have you stay here to keep an eye on an old codger like me. You go get your fruit and your wall and whatnot. I'll be fine. And when you come back, I'll have a nice grasshopper dinner waiting for you. Tiny rolled her eyes, then kissed her grandmother on the forehead and made ready to depart, trying desperately to ignore the worry that was gnawing at the walls on her heart. Tiny could feel the old woman's eyes watching as she moved down the path. Don't turn around, she told herself, but in the end the temptation was too great. She spun on her heel for one final look and saw a small bent woman standing in front of a ramshackle but hut with a sad expression on her face. God, she looks so old now. It's like the wind could reach down and just carry her away. Tiny worried about her grandmother all day, causing her work to suffer. What little fruit she could collect was tossed carelessly into the wheelbarrow, and she only found a couple of stones before losing interest in the project. Finally, as dusk approached, she decided to call it a day. Cursing herself for the lack of focus, Tiny pushed the nearly empty wheelbarrow back down the path. As she crested the final hill, she suddenly froze in place. The wheelbarrow fell from her fingers and collapsed on its side, sending a few pieces of wrinkled brown fruit rolling back down the hill. Her gaze was transfixed by a thick black cloud that hovered just ahead. Tracing its path with her finger, Tiny suddenly felt her stomach knot in on itself. No, oh gods, no. Her grandmother's house was ablaze, the flames licking up as if trying to touch the sky itself. Grandma! Grandma! Tiny ran then, faster than she had ever moved in her life. Once she tripped on a stone and went sprawling into the rocky ground, but she leapt to her feet and continued running, unmindful of the blood that spilled from her wounded hands and knees. As she got closer and closer, Tiny's mind began to race in time with her footfalls. It's too dark, not just fire. Can't be fire, too much smoke. Gotta save her. She burst into the front yard and came to a sudden halt, with her suspicions confirmed. The smoke from the fire was mingling with the thick, inky blackness of an enormous shade. The massive creature supported itself on 3 twisted feet and achieved a balance through the means of a large armored tail. Scales, horns, and claws sprouted from its body in a random chaotic pattern, giving it the appearance of a lizard designed by some insane god. Seeing Tiny, it let out a roar and flicked its tail, sending small whirlwinds spinning around the yard. For a moment, the creature retreated into a shimmering inky blackness, as if her mind was unable to comprehend that such a thing could actually exist. But when the smell hit her, a blend of rotted meat and excrement, and the horror became real once more. The creature bellowed again, and this time Tiny responded with a scream of her own. "Alright, you bastard," she thought as she screamed echoed off the high cliffs around her. "It's you and me, let's go." The shade-eyed Tiny with a bemused interest, and it began looking for her to the house and back again, as if urging her to look at the destruction it had so gleefully wrought. With dread building in her heart, Tiny glanced toward the house. Through the smoke and flames, she spotted a small figure struggling to escape the ruins. "Grandma!" At the sound of her voice, the old woman began waving frantically. "She's alive," thought Tiny. "She's alive!" Tiny's legs sprang to life as she raced across the yard toward the flaming wreckage of her house. Before she could advance more than a few steps, the shade opened its mouth and let out a roar powerful enough to uproot trees and send them flying. The blast sent Kaini tumbling through the air before smashing her against the rocky earth. Stars danced in front of her eyes as she tried to remember how her legs worked. Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Now! As Kaini struggled to her feet, the shade stumped toward the house and pinned her grandmother to the ground with the tip of a claw. The old woman struggled to move the claw from her stomach, but she might well have been pushing a mountain. She coughed briefly, sending a small spray of blood into the air, then collapsed to the ground, her energy spent. Kaini lurched to her feet only to fall back to the earth with a gasp. Her ankles were on fire, one or both of them were surely broken. Ignoring the pain that screamed through her body, she began dragging herself across the ground, leaving a drunken trail of dust and blood in her wake. Grandma, hold on, just a little longer. Grandmother's face was turning blue, her eyes rolling back until only the whites were exposed. Kaini pulled herself across the ground with maddening slowness, the distance seeming to increase with every second that passed. The shade glanced between the two women and flicked out its tongue, its giant mouth turning up at the corners, short panting breath splashed from somewhere deep inside its core. Bastard! Laughing at us. She had no idea how much a mindless creature could experience emotion, but there could be no doubt that the shade was taking joy in their suffering. Yeah, I see your plan. The shade moved its claw slightly, allowing Grandma to breathe again. It was clearly keeping her alive, only to snuff out her life, and Kaini was close enough to touch her. I'm gonna kill this bastard. Summoning all her strength, Kaini rose to her feet. There was a sickening snap from her right ankle as the foot twisted backward, but she forced it from her mind and began to hobble toward the monster. Pulling a small knife from the pouch at her waist, she leapt on the foot that pinned her grandmother and plunged the weapon deep. Give her back, she screamed. Give her back to me! It was like stabbing a rock. After a few swipes, the knife broke at the hilt with a dull snap. The shade panted laughter again, and raised its tail and sent it rushing through the air toward the young girl that was latched to its foot. Kaini never had a chance. The tail struck her square in the chest and sent her crashing into the burning wreckage of the home. As she lay on the ground with blood pouring from multiple wounds, a small, weak voice spoke up. Kaini? Kaini's vision blurred, but she forced herself to focus on the sound. Finally, her eyes cleared enough for her to make out her grandmother's hands reaching out to her through the smoke. Grandma? Kaini, you've gotta run. You can't defeat him. Kaini grabbed her hands and held on with all her strength. Grandma, come on, we have to go. The old woman coughed loudly. One of her hands, slick with blood, slipped from Kaini's grasp and thumped to the ground below. Grandma, no, no! I said run, goddammit, you have to live. You have to get through. The thought would stay forever unfinished. Before she could say another word, Shade's clawed foot descended, smashing through the remains of the roof and down upon the shattered figure of the old woman. Blood oozed thickly from gaps in the creature's toes as a terrible putrid smell assaulted Kaini's nose once again. She stared at the foot, dumbfounded, convinced that what she was seeing could not possibly be real. When the creature finally lifted its appendage, all that remained underneath was a twisted, unrecognizable mass of rubble and red. Her grandmother was gone. Kaini blinked, trying to feel the hands which had been in hers just a moment before. For a fleeting instant she could remember the warmth of that embrace, the trembling of her fingers. But then the sensation drifted away on the breeze and was gone. Memories flashed through Kaini's mind one after the other, faster and faster until until they became a meaningless jangle of noise. Kaini screamed then, a thunderous sound that echoed off the cliffs and seemed to roll away forever. The shade eased forward, black ichor pouring from its mouth and dissolving into smoke on the ground below. The earth shook with every step as it crept towards its prey. Kaini's body slowly rose as if controlled by a mad puppet master. Her arms and legs were bent at impossible angles. Her head lolled dangerously to the side, yet somehow she managed to stand. Staring at the shade, her eyes began to glow with a deep red fire. The creature, so confident just moments before, took a slow, hesitant step backward, trying to discern if his broken human could possibly pose a threat. Kaini seized the moment. Laughing like a madwoman, she leapt into the air and plunged the shattered hilt of her knife deep into the leg of the shade. The shade shook Kaini off like a fly, sending her crashing to the earth once again. Her chest rose and fell slowly, as if a great weight were resting on it. Moist sounds of pain echoed through her mind. Something warm and thick oozed from her ears. Is that blood? Think it is. Think I'm bleeding to death. No, can't die. Grandma told me to live. Deep inside Kaini's mind, something finally broke. The sound, the pain, the smoke and flames. All of it faded away until all that remained was a single incantation, repeated over and over again. Kill it. Kill it. Kill it. Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Kill it, kill it, kill it. Kill it now. As the spark that was Kaini's slow began to flicker and die, she felt her desire to kill and her desire to live blend into one. The distance between heartbeats grew longer and longer and longer.
The beast approaches.
Oh, I got it.
Well, so this was kind of intense. Let's see if, after all that reading, I still know how to play the game.
How did it even survive these past 5 years?
I'm not gonna let this happen again. He dies today. My sword feels lighter.
It's not the blade, but the skill of the user. Strike him down!
Since this is a new game plus, and we carry over levels, this is kind of a breeze compared to before. Oh, it goes on. Alrighty then. Gently, weakly, softly, the shade, sure that its tormentor was dead, turned and stomped off toward the horizon, stopping along the way to bellow one final roar. Couldn't kill it. Sorry, Grandma. Couldn't avenge you. Shamed beyond imagining, Kaini tried to turn her head to the side, but only succeeded in coughing up a huge gout of blood. It was getting difficult to see, and only after a moment of fierce concentration did she realize that her left eye was gone. Laughing to herself, she turned her remaining eye to the ruins of her home and noticed a ragged stump of arm resting a few feet away. Yeah, that's mine, she thought with a mad giggle. This is gonna make clapping a real bitch. Ha! Cried a sudden voice from the depths of her mind. Finally gonna die, are you? Well, you had it coming. Go to hell, Daimo, she thought at the unseen assailant. Go to hell before I pluck out your eyes and feed them to a dog. The voice of her childhood terror evaporated into smoke, only to be replaced by another, more recent voice. Hold still, said the apothecary, materializing from the ruins like a ghost. I want to draw you, but where you can live forever. No, stop. Don't want to live forever. Want to die right here. I see, he said quietly. Well, if it's how you want it. The spectral shopkeeper fluttered in and out of existence for a moment, then produced a piece of paper and sketched quickly. After a few seconds, he turned the page to Kaini and smiled. Since you rejected my offer, I decided to draw someone else. It was a picture of a grandmother, real as life. Kaini opened her mouth to thank the man, but stopped as the picture began to blacken in the middle. Before she could say anything, thousands of multi-legged insects began to swarm across the image, tearing at it with sharpened pincers. Stop! No, don't hurt that picture. Kaini reached out with her remaining arm and waved futilely at the air. To her surprise, the insects fell off the picture into the ground below, where they vanished into the tiny black tendrils of smoke. Relieved, Kaini turned her good eye back to the picture, only to open her mouth in a silent scream. The sketch now showed her grandmother as she truly was. A smashed, unrecognizable lump of nothing. The apothecary smiled, then broke into a jolly dance. See that? He cried as he danced his jig. It's perfect now. She looks just like you. Ha! Cha-cha-cha. I look like that? Oh God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Drowning in despair, Kaini laid her head back in the mud and smoke of her ruined house and waited for the end to come. But just before she let everything go, an unfamiliar voice began whispering in her ear. Ain't you got a wish, sunshine? The voice was vulgar and fierce at the same time, as if insanity had somehow found a way to take form. Kaini wanted to scream as the voice crawled under her skin, but her lungs refused to work. You know, a wish? Like a prayer or something? Why don't you get on your knees and start praying to heaven? Please, invisible man in the sky, save me. Save me! Kaini finally resorted to shouting at the voice with her mind. I don't make wishes, they don't come true for me. I'm a curse, a freak. I should be left to die. The other voice boomed in her ears. Oh God, you are the best. Kaini glanced down and saw a black shiny substance oozing from her legs. She tried to brush it away, but her remaining arm would no longer respond. The substance slowly crept around her feet and then began moving up toward the rest of her body. Is this death? Is it what it's like? Or is my mind just losing itself? She could feel the slime oozing upward, feel the hot searing pain it left in its wake. Whatever else might be happening, she was still alive, and this was real. Come on, said the voice, let it go. Kaini tried to ignore the voice and concentrate on the pain, but the newcomer would have none of it. Don't ignore me, sunshine. You're ready to give up, ready to die, so why not let me have it? Have what? Your body, come on, give it to me. Give it to me. I wanna stand on the ground, feel the rain, taste the wind. The voice paused as if licking its lips. When it resumed, it was filled with mad, unabated joy. And I want to take your hands and use them to choke the goddamn life out of people. I want to tear out their throats and bathe in the blood just like before. In response, Kaini shifted her head and vomited. The warmth of it crept down her front and mingled with the pain of her encroaching black ooze. Are you a shade? Yeah, maybe. What of it? The slime reached her face, crept up past her nose, and slowly oozed into the socket of her missing eye. The moment it touched her brain, Kaini was struck by the most powerful sensation she'd ever felt in her life. It was ecstasy. She wanted to scream with delight, but all she could manage was a small, whispered moan. "Feels good, don't it?" asked the voice with a chuckle. "Yeah, what can I say? I know how to please the ladies." "Now give me that body. Come on, give me the body and I'll give you more of this feeling. It's a fair trade." A black lump began to protrude from Kaini's side. As she watched, it grew longer and thicker, eventually taking the form of her missing arm. "I can see better," she thought. "My eye must be growing back too." The slime reached up to envelop the rest of her face, but she managed to brush it away. "Stop," she whispered, marveling at how she had regained her voice. "Stop!" The black ooze hesitated as if considering this request, then quickly shimmered down her body before disappearing in a cloud of smoke. "Ah, what the hell, Sunshine?" screamed the voice. "We had a deal. I thought you wanted to die." "Grandma said I can't die yet." Brief image of her grandmother, bloodied and broken, flashed before her eyes. She saw the shade that had killed her and heard its mocking laughter, then closed her eyes and forced the image from her mind. Her whole body was quaking with rage. When she opened her eyes again, they burned bright red. "That thing took my grandmother. I have to kill it before I die." Kaini glanced down and saw a mysterious pattern. The pattern of the shades burn itself into her left arm. "Well, I'll be damned," said the voice cheerfully. "Look at that, Sunshine. I think you and me are gonna be good friends now." Kaini stared intently at her arm. The more emotional she felt, the more the letters seemed ready to puncture her skin and begin infecting the rest of her body. The arm clearly had a will of its own now. "Stop, gotta stop." Holding her left arm in her right, Kaini took a deep breath and tried to calm herself. "Come on, don't fight it," I pleaded the voice. "Hate's my favorite dish and I'm hungry." "Let it go, feel the anger, burn with the fire of revenge. First for blood, then go out there and..." Shut up and get the hell out of my body." "Your body? Oh, that's rich, Sunshine. Real rich. Look, why don't you just up and die so I can have this body all to myself? What do you say? I bet those bodies of yours in the area would love to see it dead." Kaini grabbed a nearby shard of glass and tried to saw off the shade-infected portion of her side. Before she could, her darkened left arm grabbed her right wrist, crushing it. Kaini screamed and dropped the shard as the sound of bone crunching on bone filled the air. "Stupid idiot girl, you're possessed now, Sunshine, and there ain't no going back." The voice laughed again, a loud, long wail that seemed to go on without end. "Possessed?" whispered Kaini. "Yeah, possessed. You and me? We got what you might call a timeshare arrangement. Remember how folks used to think you were a freak? Well, wait till they get a load of you now." Kaini looked up, tears in her eyes. The sky seemed smaller somehow, darker. Is this because of that shade? Is this how they see the world? "So, listen," purred the voice. "I know this whole possession thing seems a bit sudden, but it ain't all bad. There's plenty in it for you too. I'm a very powerful creature, Sunshine, and now that power belongs to you. You got enemies? People you wanna kill? I can make it happen. That little fat kid who kept picking on you? That big old shade that squashed your granny? We'll wrap 'em up in their own assholes. No more abuse for you, Sunshine. No more pain. Wait, said Kaini. You're a shade. Why would you help me kill another shade? What, you think I'm some kind of racist? Some killing snob? I don't give a good goddamn who you murder, honey pants. I just wanna drink from the well. Kaini considered this as she struggled to her feet, the power of a shade coursing through her. The smoke from her house was drifting away with the wind, and she enjoyed the way the cool evening breeze felt on her new left arm. After a long pause, the voice spoke up again. So, how about it? You and me? We could have some good times together. Look, I'll even take care of the bloody part if you don't want. Fuck off, asshole, muttered Kaini. I'll handle the killing. Haha, screamed the voice. Look at you go, oh Sunshine, we're gonna have so much fun. So, listen, my name's Tyron, and if you ever need me, I'll just be hanging out in this piece of meat you call a heart. Now get to it. The more you kill, the more your heart turns rotten and sour, and I like rotten and sour. Kaini found herself nodding at the voice. Yeah, she said. Yeah, I think this can work. I'm gonna find that shade and I'm gonna strangle it with its own guts. And when I'm done, I'm gonna do the same to you, Tyron. Count on it. Ha! Laughed Tyron. I have shit bigger than you, so good luck with it. Oh, and hey, one more thing. Right now, you and me are sharing this body. But if you ever run out of hate, if you ever, go soft, then I'm gonna take over everything. So keep on killing, Sunshine, and watch your back. The voice grew fainter and gradually faded away, fading to somewhere deep inside Kaini herself. Kaini waited until she was sure the voice was gone, then waved her new left arm around a few times. It feels perfectly normal, she thought. It feels like mine. Desperately, she began to poking and prodding at the new limb, determined to find something wrong with it. She didn't want it to feel normal, but would mean the creature inside her had already won. I am not a shade. I am Kaini. Repeating this mantra in her mind, she slowly began digging through the rubble of her house, being careful to ignore a certain red-stained spot in the corner. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of heartbreaking work, she found what she was looking for. It was the wreath of lunar tears. Though it had been through the hell and back, the garland's petals were as bright as ever. Kaini started to place it in her hair, then slowly lowered the wreath and stared at it. I'm sorry, Grandma. I am so sorry. But I don't deserve to wear this anymore. I'm possessed, corrupted, a freak. And this time I don't think there's any going back. Holding the flowers to her heart, Kaini fell to the ground and sobbed. As night gradually lightened into dawn and the people of the area arose to their daily lives, she remained in that position, as if tears could somehow wash the horror that now infected her world.
Alive. Stay alive. Stay alive.
Grandma?
Kaini, you gotta live. You gotta come back to us.
Who are... Emil, you were the one calling me, huh?
You still recognize me?
Yeah, sure. I knew you right away.
Thank you, Kaini.
Good to see you, Kaine.
You look like shit. How long has it been?
5 years.
Oh. That's a long time. Any luck with Yona?
We are still no closer to finding her. We need a way to locate the Shadow Lord.
This is for you.
Lunar tears. Did you make this?
It's just a little welcome back gift. It's not much, I know.
It's nothing like the one Grandma used to make, but... oh, hell. Thanks.
Excuse me.
Popola, we did it. We freed Kaine.
That's great. Listen, can I talk to you for a minute?
This doesn't make sense.
Please, try to understand. People are tired and scared, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to bear the brunt of that.
It's crap.
It's okay. We can sleep outside.
No one's sleeping outside. You and Kaine saved this village, and now they want to run you out?
People are afraid of us. And really, I understand. I mean, look at me. As long as you're still with us, I can deal with it. Right, Kaine?
I'm used to sleeping outside.
I'm sorry.
We'll see you later.
We're sorry.
What is the matter?
Kaine always sleeps outside. I never thought about that until just now. How could I have not noticed that? How selfish am I? What the hell is wrong with me?
We should turn in.
I didn't get much sleep that night. I wanted to blame Devila for everything. I wanted to grab Propola and strangle her. But anger won't accomplish anything. They said and did what they did for the sake of the village. For the sake of protecting it from the horrifying threat of the shades. If Devila and Propola are to blame, then I am equally at fault. For not stopping for a moment to think about Kaine and Emil. Sleep well? Sure. Well, if you say so. I need to go see Devila and Popola. Very well. Alright, now that we're back in the real world and we can finally move freely again, this is the end of the part, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll be back for the next part. See you again.